This is Life's a Pitch TV. Main sponsor, DPS Tech. Also supported by Lackens, all about hearing. Forward Floors, Ginger Pickle, Fred Olsen Logistics, The Dove, Segford Golf Club, Ashford Wright, John Keeble Cars, Venue 16, The Hudson Group, Come Hither Design, Sound 4 Pro Audio, and Suffolk Sound. Our charities this year: Cancer Support Suffolk and the Ipswich Town Community Foundation. Oh my goodness, hello capacity crowds. Fantastic, the battle of the stands. Welcome to this week's edition of Life's a Pitch TV. I'm Mark Murphy. Let me introduce you to the team. It's Terry Butcher. Hooray! There's Russell Osman. Hooray! There's Chambo. Hooray! And on technicals we have Richard, John and Mark. Hooray! And our floor manager is Leslie Dolphin. We are in the Premier League, so we have a huge crowd, just as loud as we were on Sunday against Aston Villa. Who was there? Oh, what a game. More on that to come. But let's introduce you to the stands. The Churchman stand, sponsored by John Keeble Cars. Hooray! And the North stand, sponsored by Ashford Wright. Fantastic. We are on YouTube. We're also on podcast and Saturday lunchtimes on Suffolk Sound as well. Tonight we've got the Table Footy Challenge on this day in ITFC history. Ask the Legends, Player of the Week, and from the Renegade Statman every week, stats that you didn't know you needed to know. Let's start off. No special guest this week, but we have a fantastic crowd and we have our three legends in residence. So let's start off this week by talking about the thriller against Villa. Russell Osman, what did you make? It took me all week to work that one out. Come on. All week, come on. Russell, what do you think?
I really enjoyed the game. Went down there and I thought we were the better side for probably 70% of the game. And when you consider like Man City was top, Liverpool second, Aston Villa in third place when we played them, I think it bodes us very, very well for the rest of the season, just seeing how we managed to cope with the strengths of Aston Villa and what they got. And I think bit by bit we're getting better and better every game we play.
Terry?
Yeah, exactly the same.
Thanks. Anything you'd like to expand on?
Oh, well, if I can, yes.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, very good. No, I really enjoyed it. I mean, I've enjoyed the games at Portman Road this season. Okay, we've not won the first one, but the other two we've done very well in. And it really gives me a good sort of indication that there's a resilience and a strength in the team and a belief in the team. And I think that if you've got that to start with, if we say in the promotion in 91-92, the first 10 games, we won 2, drew 7, lost 1. So it was a steady start. In 2000, we won 4, drew 3, lost 3. So that was a pretty good start. So we seem to start pretty well. The only thing that's missing now are wins. You get wins, then it's a great start.
Well, we were very close to it, I think, on Sunday. What did you make of it, Chambo?
Yeah, the lads mentioned they enjoyed it, but how long's it been since you haven't enjoyed a game at Portman Road? I think so. It's just such a good place to be, and the feel-good factor. And it's like Villa. Then you're like, who's next? What I did see from a Villa perspective is, and another one from our side is, if you make a mistake at this level, it's a goal. And we've been punished throughout the season so far for those mistakes. But saying that, the boys, I thought, dug in tremendously well. The quality they showed, the confidence against a team like Aston Villa, for me, is just, I think they're believing more and more each week that they can really have a go at this division. And the way they came again from behind, but what it does show as well for Ollie Watkins' goal, you could be half a yard away from your man. The delivery that comes in is top draw, and they score. So as much as I feel we were on top for a lot of the game, those top teams will punish you from any sort of free delivery in the box, and that's the difference in the level I think that we're seeing now.
Yeah. It was quite ironic as well that our two sort of best players recently, O'Shea and Greaves especially, they were the ones that got caught out. with the cross and obviously with the ball that was played through. So, you know, it just sort of not frustrates you, but you sort of think that's what you're talking about. That you know, small margin, and there are very small margins in the top flight, but it gives them encouragement to say, well, look, if you can just get that right, particularly at the back, then that gives you a good platform then to go forward, because we've got a lot of strength going forward.
It shows you the value of a clean sheet, doesn't it? I mean, it just proves how hard it is to score against Premier League teams at any level of the Premier League. You know, so if you can lock the door up at the back and keep a clean sheet, oh, that's priceless. Absolutely priceless.
And they will learn from that, though, won't they?
Oh, yeah. They'll get better and get better all the time. You know, I think there's not an abundance of experience across the back four, and I think the way the modern game is now, the emphasis is more on players being confident in possession of the ball, whereas in our day, maybe not so much Chambers' day, but it was first and foremost clean sheet. Give the ball to somebody else who can play with it. You for the back in front of the keeper. Your job is just to try and get a clean sheet, and if we got a clean sheet, that was our job done, really. It's a little bit more complicated now.
But what it showed to me was the determination was there, Chamber, right the whole game, wasn't it? Right from the start, right to the final whistle. I mean, what a great end to the match as well. You know, we were corner after corner, weren't we? So they're just not giving up, and we've seen that over the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, I think that's the good thing to see. We're used to winning games over the last 2 years, but now we're still chasing games. We're not equalising, we're not shutting up shop, we're still going for wins, and I think it shows how everyone's kept behind the team from minute 1 to 96 or whatever it is to try and get us over the line. But as long as we've got goals in the team, yes, I don't think we're going to keep too many clean sheets just because of the level that we're at. But if you've got goals and a player that we've signed in Delap, for me, the money we've paid for him and what he's shown in these first few games is just
Let's talk more about him then. I mean, it just... amazing goals. I mean, he's strong, he's fast, he's skillful.
Yeah,
goals
not that tall.
It's not about the goals, is it? He's not had his specs on again this week. He's been trying out his new contact lenses. They're not working very well. But he's a big boy. But he's one of those players for me that I see from like a player's perspective is he's the player that you don't want to play against, but you want him in your team. And when you've got a player like that, I would say he's probably obviously another level ahead of Daryl Murphy. But when Murph was on his game, that was how he played. He chased everything. He brought others into play. He held the ball up well. He could wing the ball in the air. He'd run away from people. He'd shoot from outside the box. And for me, Delap so far has shown he's got absolutely everything. So it's really exciting to see, and it's great for us to spend that money so well for someone so young that can work under Kieran and improve
building
even
for the
more.
future
Yeah,
as well, which we
fantastic.
talked about a lot. We were talking, Butch, before the show, echoes of Paul Mariner.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't got the long hair that Mahrez has got, obviously, and he probably doesn't drink as much as Mahrez, but his football is really, really good. It speaks for itself. But he's strong, and he's a leader of the line. If you've got someone up front that's you can ping a ball up to feet, he'll hold it up, or he'll chase a cause, or he'll hold defenders off and win balls in the air, as Chambers says. If you've got someone like that, it gives you a lot of belief and a lot of hope, because he's an outlet for you if you have to play like that, because Town don't really play like that. Not many clubs do, but he has got great facets and great strengths. For a youngster coming into this league, he's exceptional, and he does do things. He loves the physicality. Yeah. He loves the battle.
He puts a marker out early on in the game, doesn't he?
He does, yeah.
As soon as he can, he will go and knock somebody over and just say, right, I'm here for the next 90 minutes, and you better believe I'm going to give you a hard time.
But you giggle at that, but if you actually watch him, every time the ball's near him or a defender, he'll stand on their foot, or he'll nudge them, or hit them after the ball's gone. He manages that really, really well. So next time you do watch him, watch out for it. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. And it's like, that's the strike.
We enjoy that, don't we? We enjoy watching that. Yeah, it's really good.
And did enjoy receiving it, but
he's just so young as well, isn't he? And we've talked a lot about the signings and young signings building for the future, and that's just a classic example of where Kieran's looking to go.
Yeah. I think his second goal showed you the confidence that the lad's got as well. He's coming into the inside left position in the 18-yard box, and it's just a nice little step over, drops his shoulder. He scores a right foot in the first half and a left foot in the second half. And I think the defender thought he got him, and he's just rocked him one way, taken him the other way, got himself the yard, and great finish. Knew
That would
exactly
never
what he
happen
was
to
doing.
us, though, would it?
No,
Step
no,
overs and getting
you
done
knew
down
what
the
it-
side. No
yeah.
chance. Poor defending.
You-
But great skill.
yeah,
Great skill.
but he's carried it a long way,
I
hasn't
was
he?
disgusted by the defending, to be honest.
They should have engaged him before
Yeah,
they got
absolutely.
into
But
the 18-yard box.
They outnumbered him.
Yeah.
What you saw he wanted to do was come inside on his right foot, but the Villa defenders never shifted across to almost the inside centre half. Had never said, "Look, you take the line, and if he steps inside, I've got you covered." So he's then a sitting duck. He can go either way, and that's why he's nearly fallen over on the
Oh, he
step
did.
over.
But
He did a three, he went,
it's the quality of the finish.
Absolutely.
That's
yeah.
so. That's
It's
so.
all well,
that's so
all well and
good.
good getting there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
mean, he was
finishing
he
the way
was
he did.
through on 1-on-1 in the first half, and Martinez pulls off a great save. But you know, he would have hit hit the target. You know, could have scored quite easily, but he didn't do that. But he didn't let it affect him.
Yeah.
And when he got the second chance, you know that chance, it was great.
But
I wasn't-
a calm finish, wasn't it?
Very
He knew
calm
exactly
finish.
what he wanted to do, executed it to perfection.
Yeah.
His footwork was great, and the finish was sublime.
I
Really.
didn't see the goal because I had to leave. But I was just coming at the back of the north stand, walking up Portman Road, and I heard this noise, and it sounded like an aircraft taking off as when he scored. And I thought, oh my God, what was that? And I know Jason's got his book,
That's why, yeah.
Follow the Thunder,
That's
and it was
exactly
just
it.
exactly
Yeah.
what it was. I can just really see it. And it was really nice to see. Well, it wasn't nice to see because I missed it. I would have seen it, like to see it personally, but it was really nice to hear.
I spoke about it earlier. I think I was just getting back from London off a train from one of the games. I think we had a cup game last year. And I heard the stadium erupt coming out. And I'd never heard anything like that. And that is a recurring theme now for everyone that isn't lucky enough to get a ticket, I suppose.
Yeah.
You can hear that that roar for miles now. And that's just
Fantastic.
so good to be associated with it. And everyone's just buzzing. It's just brilliant.
It is amazing, isn't it? It really is. Anybody else stand out for you? Anybody else going to get a mention, an honorary mention against Villa? Thought Leaf had a good game.
Yeah, he's getting rave reviews now.
Yeah.
I thought he was better going forward again.
Yeah.
Looked like got a little bit of his confidence back going forward, so good.
Jack Clark, I thought he had a good game.
I just think they're all playing really well,
Yeah.
aren't they? You can't really single anyone out. Obviously, if you score 2 goals like Delap has, you single him out. But even the 2 centre-halves, you were talking about a mistake. I don't think it was a mistake for the cross. I think it was a brilliant cross. I think Tuanzebe should probably be on the cover a little bit more. But I think
I'd
everyone...
have blamed the keeper.
Well, yeah, we like to do that.
But
don't we?
Russell, you always blame keepers, for goodness sake.
Oh, when he's 6'6", you know, he said, "Come on, it's inside the 6-yard box," you know.
Yeah, it was a good header, though, I must say. But the,
Good
cro-
ball,
the
good
cross,
header.
the cross
Good
is
football.
one that could tempt him. So he just says, "No, I'll be safe," and in the end he puts it in. But it was, you know, from a defensive point of view, it's 2 against 1. Someone's got to pick him up and pick him up properly in that case. But you know, as you say, the quality in the Premier League is just scary.
Apart
It
from the
is.
referees.
Well, they're scary as well. Yeah.
I mean, you may or may not want to comment, but he
Well,
was
you-
crap, wasn't
Are
he?
you saying that Mr. Morsey didn't deserve a yellow card, or what are you,
Well,
what are
there
you
was,
saying there?
you know, he obviously tried to even up his mistakes towards the end, but
Hold
no,
on.
he was just. I mean, look, the Aston Villa players. They should have got an Oscar a lot of the time, rolling around, and the ref falling for it every time.
Yeah, but I think Sam got away with a bit as
Oh,
well.
he did on that one. Yeah,
You know,
I'm
so-
not,
Nah,
I'm
that's
not
a good
talking
point.
about that bit.
So he wasn't
shouldn't have
that
got
bad, was
booked,
he?
Yeah, but
Twice.
he's only 1 game away from a suspension.
Yeah, I
now. He's
know,
got 4.
I know.
Cool.
But that's
But
the way,
overall, I thought the ref was poor.
But that's the way he plays the game, Sam.
Yeah.
Morsey. Yeah, he lives right on the edge.
He's laying the marker down, isn't he? I'm absolutely
He's
loving
laid
it.
I mean,
full
what was he
markers
doing?
there.
Running from the penalty spot to the corner flag to see if the ball was in the little circly bit.
Nothing better to do, Mark.
Yeah.
You've got to do
It's all
something.
about me, isn't it? You
It's
know,
that
the ref.
control. It's that control aspect of the officials. They love
Do you think
being
so?
in
They love
control.
to be in
don't
control?
They?
Yeah. What do we think of the ref? Just me then. Oh, rubbish. Okay, fine.
I think we've had worse already this season. So.
Yeah. Do you think that they favour? I mean, people sitting around where I sit were saying, "Oh, they favour the big teams." Do you agree, crowd? Yeah.
Well, big teams get the ball more, don't they? They've got more possession. If you look at
Yeah,
Man City's possession stats, they've got more of the ball.
Yeah, got more of the ball. Yeah.
No, I don't think they favour the big teams. I just think they're absolute crap.
It's quite refreshing to be able to say that
There
with
you
an
go.
FA charge, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very nice. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I've had many of those.
Have you told the odd referee what you think of them?
Yes,
during
I
or
have.
after
Yeah,
a
that's
game?
why I got booked. Yeah, and sent off. Yeah,
Yeah.
things like that. Yeah, you do. You try and disguise it, but they see through that. I tell you that. That's the only thing they're good at.
The problem is when you get sent off as a manager, you've got nowhere to go.
No, you haven't, no. It's embarrassing, though. You've got to try and get a ticket to get back in,
yeah. And then they can't hear you.
When you were skipper, you'd go over and have conversations. Were you always polite with the referees then?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, okay.
I just think it's the obvious ones that just become so frustrating, and then you get punished for actually questioning an obvious footballing decision. I think that's where the difference in opinions comes about. But what I've saw, and I've spoke to Liam Trotter, who obviously plays for Ipswich, a good friend of mine now.
Yep.
He's gone into the PFA's player to official pathway, which I think is a fantastic idea because, well, you've got to be a bit of a crazy player to go and do that.
I was talking to his mum the other day and she was telling me all about it.
Yeah, so it's an exciting thing that they're putting together because I think no one can see how the game is played and the little things we spoke about, Delap does and leaving things in there. I don't think anyone other than a player can really understand those little bits where players can take a little bit and what you have to let go and what you have to really clamp down on. I think that is a real niche thing that we should have done a long time ago. So I'm pleased to see that's something that's beginning to happen.
Interesting. Right, time for this week's Player of the Week. They're here tonight in force, sponsored by the Dove in Ipswich. Where are you? Over there. So, the Player of the Week. I wonder who that could possibly be.
Well, my Player of the Week last week was Delap for his performance against Southampton.
Yes.
And I think this week he was even better against Villa. So he gets my vote regardless of his goals, but it does help if you score 2.
It does, yep. Butch?
Yes, Liam Delap. I give it to him because of the 2 goals, but the way that he worked, and I thought he's just lifted himself above the rest of the players, but not by far because it was a great team performance. So yes, Liam Delap.
Jabo?
Unanimous, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Russell put it on his social media that he kicked him last week and he'll be picking it again this week. It's almost like he knows what he's talking about with all that experience.
So it's Player of the Week then, Delap. So give him a round of applause, everybody. Fantastic. Second time he's been Player of the Week. So we've had Smodic, Screeves, Delap, Ogbene, Muric, Morsey, and then Delap again. So we are 4 games unbeaten, which I think is fantastic, isn't it, in the Premier League? Still looking for a win. Is it going to come, Terry, against West Ham?
Yep, I hope so, because I don't particularly like West Ham. Certain grievances against them and in the past, and they've beaten us in playoffs, and so apart from that, we want to beat them. Yeah, so I think it can, because they're in a bit of a funny spell with the new manager, J-Lo, they call him apparently, so he can't pronounce his surname. So it's J-Lo against KMC. It sounds pretty groovy and pretty hip, doesn't it? Yeah. But no, they've got a chance.
Where are we going with this, by the way?
Any more?
Yeah. Actually, no.
Go on, give me some.
No,
give me that book.
No more. So I think they're going to win.
Okay. What do you think, Russ?
I think he's set up very nicely for us at the moment. I think this moment in time, I think they're on a little bit of a downward spiral, even though the season's only just started, and I think we're on the way up, so I think it's a great time for us to be playing somebody like West Ham. I think it's the perfect fixture for us.
Jambo?
Can we call it a bit of a local derby? A little bit?
Well, it's better than Norwich, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
I'll set
They're
you
still
up.
awake.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it is. I mean, there are a lot of people in this part of the world who are West Ham fans, actually.
Yeah, it used to be counted more or less as a derby, didn't it? In our day at Upton Park.
Well, every game was a hate game, so that was a hate game in particular. But yeah, we didn't like them either. So
well, there's not many under an hour, is there, away from us?
No, it's true.
No.
Yeah, I think it's a real good opportunity. I know that I spoke to a lot of West Ham fans this week, and even last night I spoke to them, and I think they're quite nervous about the game. I think they're struggling. I think they're not too sure how to take the new manager and what he's trying to ask his players to do, and it's definitely a good time to go down there and play them, especially at their place, because you know how quickly those fans and that fan base can turn if things aren't going particularly well.
Won't be blowing too many bubbles, Mark, I don't think.
Our tails are definitely up, aren't they?
It's good and quite rightly so. You know, we're still on the upward march.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's fantastic.
People to watch out for? Anybody we need to keep an eye on?
well, all of their front three, but Kudus, by all accounts, got dragged at half-time in a disagreement with the manager, so it's not obviously a great place to be for them, and that's probably one of their best players.
Yeah. He'll suddenly be injured, won't he?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we might see Mr. Creswell again, because I know
still there, isn't he?
Lopetegui's a big fan of his. He tried to take him to Wolves, I think, when he was there, so he's still in there. Another contract he's ticked off. Lucky boy. But no, I think it's just, we spoke earlier in the season about you could go 5 games without a win. You could go 5 games straight, 5 straight losses. And for us to be sitting here with, 4 games unbeaten, it's a brilliant place to be. And they'll go down there, and they've shown they don't fear anyone. So for them to now go in there and playing them at the time,
those draws will feel like wins, won't they, at the moment for them?
Against the opposition we've come up against, yeah. And the way, yes, the Southampton one on paper, we would have thought, right, we got to win that one. But the way they won that, got the equaliser, they got the draw, it will still feel like a win for them.
Actually, Villa, they've had 3 home games and they've lost 3 home games. Lost to Villa 2-1. West Ham. They lost to Villa 2-1. They lost to Man City 3-1, and they lost to Chelsea 3-0. So they don't like. We
fit right in there with them 3 as well, don't we? So
we do, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we do. But they don't like playing at home. Is the point I'm trying to make. And also, if any of the fans go into the game, well, just take your binoculars because you might need them, because it's a long way away. It's a funny old
ground, isn't it?
It's a long way away. Yeah, it's not great. It's not the great atmosphere, which is what they miss, particularly at the.
Well, what was Upton Park like to play at?
Upton Park, it was horrible. Brilliant. It was brilliant in one respect, but horrible in another.
Atmosphere. Yeah.
If the ball ran out, if you kicked the ball out of play, you wouldn't go and get it because
it was like this far away, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it's not all the male supporters. It's the female supporters you want to worry about all the time. They had knit needles at the game and things like this. It was like that. Wow. That was pretty scary. Scarier than the referees, anyway.
So when you put Alan Devonshire over the touchline, he was in about row Z by the time he landed, wasn't he?
Yeah, but I got away from there pretty quick, I tell you. The needles were out and everything else like that. No. Yeah.
I'm going to Google that later. They're famous for their knitting needles and stabbing the opposition players.
Yeah. Yeah. They're in there.
They knit with the hammers, don't they?
Who were the big names you were playing against then at West Ham?
Big names?
Yeah.
Billy Bonds.
Billy Bonds,
yeah.
Alvin Martin.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trevor Brooking. Yeah. Yeah, very
was
good.
Great.
Yeah, we
Sarge, Paul Goddard.
I played there in '86 and we lost 2-1, 1-0 up. And Dickens scored a goal, and Mark Ward blatantly dived for the penalty over Steve McCall. Steve McCall went in and he went. It's an unbelievable dive when diving wasn't really sort of done in those days, and he got a penalty. So after the game, we lose 2-1. It was very serious because we in the threat of relegation. I just lost it, completely lost it. And I walked into the tunnel and I was trying to find the referee in his dressing room, and he was behind the policeman at his dressing room, and I actually tried physically to get through and grab him, and then I was held by Bobby Ferguson, and I was held by a chief superintendent, and I still the only thing I could move was my head, as I was still trying to headbutt him. So then I got thrown away. And I ended up back in the changing room. So I was very angry actually at the time. And the changing room had like these Formica sheets. There wasn't wood or anything like that. Formica sheets, quite plasticky sort of thing. And I was like so frustrated. I just went smash, and I put my foot through the window. That's sort of the wall. So I put my foot through the wall, and I've now got the wall separating me and my body. I look like there's a guy called Harry Worth who used to do this trick with a mirror. So I've got my foot is in the wall, my foot's out the wall, and I can't move.
You put your right foot in.
Yeah.
Your right foot.
So I had to get Bobby Ferguson to lift me out of the wall. So then I went to John Lyle after the game and I said, "Look, I'm really sorry. I lost it, but I'll pay for the damage and all that sort of thing. And I'm really sorry." He just said, "Don't worry, son." He says, "It's all about passion. That's what really matters." Brilliant. And that was John Lyle. Yeah. That was really nice.
And if you don't know who Harry Worth is, Google him after the show, because it's quite funny to watch.
Mark, do you remember Keith Robson, who used to play for them?
Yes.
Keith was a bit of a wild man. He ran up to George Burley one day with a ball, and as he got close to George, he just stopped, sat on the ball, and George looked at him and looked round and said, "What's going on here?" Keith Robson just sat on the ball. No whistle had gone. So George went to get the ball and suddenly Keith jumped up and went past him, you know. Mad, middle of a game. No.
Happy days.
Yeah.
Happy days.
Crazy.
Right, now I thought as we've had a few games now that we ought to just run the rule over some of the town players just to get your thoughts on how they are performing. Let's start with Muric in goal. Chambo.
After a sticky start, I think he's been very good. I think he's kept us in a game against Brighton. He's made some big saves. I think he's done well. He seems to have settled into the role nicely after it could have been an even stickier start. So I think he's done relatively well after that first. Oh, the phone's gone off.
Oh,
that was Muric.
Yellow card.
That was Muric. Said my pleasure.
He's on speed dial, isn't
His
he?
devices, eh? He settled in really well after, like I say, a sticky start. So I think
because it could have really affected him that start, couldn't it?
Yeah, and fair play. The manager stuck with him, which could have easily been changed after Wharton's first game, where he did really, really well against Liverpool. So the credit where it's due. He's bounced back really well.
Terry?
Yeah, he has done well, and he stopped finding his mate in the crowd as well so many times. He kept doing that, but no, he's come on really well. He didn't have a really lot to do against Villa. So yeah, I'm very happy with him. Yeah, very good.
Russ?
Yep. Competent.
Yep.
He's got a presence there, and he doesn't mind coming out of his 6-yard box and coming for crosses, and I think he's just got to get better and better as the season goes on.
And obviously Christian Walton is a fantastic deputy for him at the moment. That's his position, isn't it? And Kieran Slicker signing an extended contract this week. He's a great prospect, isn't he?
The best job in world football, third choice Premier League goalkeeper.
Yeah. Pick up the bonuses.
Yeah, there we go.
Lovely.
Leif Davis. He seems to have adapted really well, doesn't he?
Who's first there?
Yes, Terry.
Yes, he has. I think they've all adapted really, really well. But I think he hasn't got forward as much because he's just waiting to see. It's a different sort of game in the Premier League, obviously. But I just think defensive wise, he had a not a great start. Some goals down his side in particular, like with a cross against Villa for Watkins' goal. He perhaps could have got closer, but these players now are magicians. They can manufacture a chance out of nothing or a cross out of nothing. So I don't think he's got anything to be disappointed about. But I think he's coming on well. I think that it all depends who's the partner in front of him is, but he wants to get forward, and I think he should possibly do that more than anything else.
Chambo?
Yeah, I never had any doubt that he would step up and do what he's done. Obviously, the question marks were over how we played as a team and whether we would be exploited down that left-hand side. What has happened is Kieran's brought in players ahead of him, which will probably play a bit wider and occupy that left-hand side high and wide. So he's been able to adjust his game a little bit to come onto things later and keep us more solid if we do lose the ball. But if we continue to do what we are and go up the league and continue to pick up good results, it won't be long before he's talked about for England, in my opinion.
What do you think about that, Russ?
I think going forward he's a very talented player. I think he can. The potential that he has is massive. I think he can be even better in the final third when he goes forward. I think now and again he gets a little bit rabbit in the headlights a little bit. Sometimes he's not sure whether to cut it back. I mean, last season, the season before, he used to try and find chappers a lot, didn't he? Coming in late on the edge of the box. We've not quite seen that from him so far this season. Once he gets his confidence again playing in the Premier League at a different level and starts doing that'd be great for us. I think he's got to work on his defending, and I think if I was Jacob Greaves, I would be having a word with him and saying, listen, I need to know that you've got my back for me. And me and you, we've got to work as a partnership down that left-hand side of the 18-yard box. If I'm tight, I need you in an area where if I cock up, you've got to be able to bail me out. And likewise, it can get a little bit closer to the cross for the Villa second goal. I just think we slaughter fullbacks if they let crosses come into our box, and not just us, but the management team is to say, it's part and parcel of your job, as it was in those days, to stop crosses. And if you were letting the crosses come in, you used to get a mouthful at half-time or at the end of the game. And I think if he can just improve a little bit in both of those areas, then we will have a million pound player there.
I think you should do what I did to Steve McCall. I grabbed him by the throat. And he responded very well, surprisingly. He was never out of his position again. It's brilliant.
Yeah, he lost a bit of colour for a while.
Let's rattle through a few of these other ones. Axel made the step up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Brilliant. Solid, dependable. He's got all the athleticism in the world. I think he's been really, really good.
Yeah. I mean, it looks quite solid across the back now. It looks like we've found his favoured players, I think.
Yeah, it looks that way.
Back four.
Yeah.
With O'Shea, is it O'Shea, centre half?
Yeah, O'Shea and Greaves. Yeah.
Yeah, but they've played the last 3 games together and look pretty good. So yeah, it's obviously Wolfenden's not in favour now, so he's stepped in, Darrow, and he's done pretty well. But Greaves for me has just been tremendous. I like watching him play.
Great tackle at the end of the game.
Yeah, well, I never saw that. No,
you do it.
I
heard about it.
I heard the roar further up the hill. Yeah, it was great.
It's a bit like yourself when you slid in from behind and hooked the old big left foot round him.
Yeah, well, I miss doing that, I tell you. Sometimes I'd like to catch the ball, sometimes I didn't. I caught him, but there you go.
Yeah.
Someone else who likes to get stuck in, Sam Morsey. I mean, some people question his age, but he's there, he's doing it, isn't he?
Very impressive, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's just
could have been a Premier League
That's
player
just,
before now, couldn't he, really?
Well, yeah, but then I think it's all a perfect storm. He's come together with Kieran, and I think he's changed the way he's living, the way he prepares for games, what he puts in his body, the way he trains. Absolutely everything's changed since he's come here, and that's the impressive thing, that at his age he can continue to do what he's doing and keep stepping up the levels and be as competitive as he is with that edge in his game. I feel he's controlled that really, really well. Yes, he's got booked, but that's the way.
It's his game, isn't it?
That's the game, and unfortunately, he will get suspended. That's part and parcel of his game and how he enforces his strengths on the opposition. So I think he's been remarkable, and he's such a good leader for the team. It's brilliant.
What about Calvin Phillips, you two? What are your thoughts on
It's
Calvin
good.
Phillips?
I thought it was very good. Got through a lot of work, kept it simple, and he's a good passer of the ball, whether it's short, mid-range or long. He's got a long pass in him, and he can find his teammates quite comfortably. And I think there's a little bit more of an understanding with him and Sam Morsey. I think they're starting to get used to playing with each other these days.
Can you say that?
I couldn't without keeping a straight face, actually.
That was very good, yeah. Yeah.
Well, you used to play with each other all the while, didn't you?
Yeah, but was that before the game or
we
after
used
the
to
game?
room together.
I don't know.
Oh, you roomed together as
We
well?
roomed
Oh,
together
okay,
as
right.
well, so we were allowed to.
That's why we got rid of them baths, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I miss a good bath, Chamo. You'd have gone down well on that. I said, well, you can't even say that, can you?
On that note,
Anyway, moving on. I think Morsey's
okay.
Morsey,
right.
yeah,
Omari.
I think Morsey and Phillips. That's the partnership.
Solid.
So that's
Okay,
solid.
Omari. Quite a few players on him on Sunday against Villa, wasn't there? These people are sort of marking him out of the game a little bit, I think, are they, or not?
I think he's now playing in that central area where there's not going to be a lot of space, and teams give you the outside of the pitch. They don't let you come through the middle. So moving off that right-hand side, he's not going to be as involved as he has been, especially over the last 6 months, I'd say. But no, if he's occupying 2 or 3 players, then that means there's space for everyone else. So that's the role that he's found himself in. And again, if the wide players start producing chances and becoming more effective, they'll suck people out, which then opens the spaces up for him.
Would you say his best position is in the centre or out on the right?
On the right for me.
On the right.
Yeah, I'd agree with you there.
You've got
Definitely.
to give him the ball then.
Yeah.
But then it's another string to the bow as well for him coming inside off his left foot. But also you've got Wes Burns and Ogbene on the right, which give you out and out pace. So the options are there.
There's a lot of options, aren't
to
there?
get him in the team, that's probably where he wants to play.
Yeah.
But I would say that's probably Schmodik's best position.
Well, I was going to ask about
playing there.
Smodics. I mean, so he is spoilt for choice, isn't he, really?
He is. Yeah, who knows what the team is going to be on Saturday at West Ham. Will it be the same? But you are sport for choice, and I think down the right-hand side you do have pace, you do have some dynamic players down there. Without Axel being like a dynamic right back, getting up and beyond the wide player there, he supports from behind, and he does a very good job at doing that. Just mentioning Harry Clark, when Harry Clark, if he gets back in the side, he's got the legs to get beyond people like Wes Burns, we've not seen the best of Wes yet, I don't think. You know, he had a bit of a hamstring injury early on. He's not really got at full-backs and got past him yet, you know. So we've got so many options down that side, haven't we?
Well, it's fantastic to see. Burns and Broadhead in the Welsh squad as well. Al Hamadi called up for the Iraqi squad. We've got another break coming up, haven't we, fairly soon? So it's a bit stop-start, this Premier League stuff, isn't it?
Mm.
Yeah.
It is, but I think that gives Kieran especially is a chance to sort of reassess and do what we're doing, looking through and improving players, tweaking players individually, together, giving them a break, giving them a rest. I think it works out very well. It worked out well in the Championship because we had the breaks as well. But I think it's so frustrating for us because because we've seen 4 really good performances, and you sort of think it's building, and then you're going to go and play West Ham, and then there's a 2-week break. It is a bit stop-start, but that's the way, that's the name of the game, isn't it?
Well, I think we're very happy with the way things are going, aren't we? And it's just nice to experience it, go along for the ride. But it's a really good ride at the moment. One of the other rumours flying around at the moment is Mick McCarthy in the jungle. Chamber, how do you think he'll fare?
He'll be brilliant. I think he'll have TC in his little bag with him on his He'll be having a bonfire and he'll pop out. I should cook. It'd be great if he does. I think it's brilliant. It'd be absolute TV
Would you ring
gold.
up to make him eat bugs and testicles or not?
No. You know,
Lots
some people
of
might, but
them.
not for me.
Lots of them.
Yeah.
I think it's bonkers. Absolute bonkers.
Don't you fancy going in?
No, I hell fancy going.
You'd be
there.
brilliant on there, Victor Meldrew.
No
Would be
chance.
absolutely unbelievable.
Big Vic.
I think I'd bring some sanity to the occasion.
Well, it'll be fascinating to watch. It really will. Now, look, we've got lots of people who have come along tonight for the first time, and Cliff's brought us a nice book. So, Cliff, where are you? Over there, somewhere? Over there. Thank you very much for the book. We'll have a little look on that. It's got some good stats in there. And Patrick's here. Come up to the microphone here, Patrick, because you've got a little surprise in your blue plastic bag.
I have.
Yes. Oh, it's not in a bag now.
No, it's not.
Okay.
We think the pinnacle of masculinity
Yep.
is to have an action figure made of you.
Oh, yeah.
So I've brought as a gift to Life's a Pitch TV a genuine 1989 action figure of Terry Butcher in full.
Actually, that's nothing like me, to be honest.
It doesn't look a lot like you.
No, that's right.
Look
Yeah.
at that. In 1989, the design was slightly different, clearly. But obviously, at the time, they made some superstars. It's called Sports Stars. They made some absolute superstars. There's plenty of people that everyone will remember. Legends of the game, like Gary Lineker and Chris Waddle and Stuart Pearce, Steve Bruce. For the Ipswich fans, they might remember Lee Chapman. That you could have had a Lee Chapman action figure.
Really?
He was signed in 1994.
Yeah, Lee, I've never been relegated.
Yeah.
Chapman.
Signed to save Ipswich from relegation. He
Yeah.
played 20 games, scored 1 goal,
Yeah,
and we were
went well,
relegated.
didn't it? Yeah.
As we all remember.
Yeah.
There's one here for Chamber, one for your mantelpiece as well. They actually made a Celtic kit, Mick McCarthy action figure. So I'm sure that would do well in your household.
I'll put that by my bed.
The only link I could find to Russell, unfortunately, was Alan Smith, who was one of your teammates at Leicester back in the day.
Yeah, Smudge. Yeah.
Yeah, they made one of them.
Original.
And they did some international stars as well, Frank Rijkaard and Gianluca Vialli. And one that I'm sure Terry would cherish if he owned it is a full action figure of Diego Maradona.
Oh, right. He's had his time, hasn't he?
It was going so well, Patrick. Going so well.
That is the only figure that was ever sold or given away, I must admit. But no.
So we can keep that,
So
can we? Oh,
that's
fantastic.
for Life's a Pitch.
Excellent. Oh, I don't know. I've seen you in that pose, Terry, a couple of times. When it's icy outside, I mean, it's,
Yeah, well, I'm not very happy about this, but carry on.
No, it's okay. We'll just put that there for now, look, okay? Just put that there for now. Is that all right? Excellent. Just give me that look. Move on. Move on. Time for Ask the Legends, sponsored by Seckford Golf Club. And Simon's here, and at the moment, we had a bit of controversy last week.
Did we?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
So it's Russell 5.5.
We didn't have
and Terry
controversy,
2.5.
Mark. You just didn't know the difference between 17 and 15 and thought 16 was something,
Maths
on a
was never
different
my strong
planet.
point last week, or ever. Hopefully this week it'll be a bit more straightforward for you. Okay, feel free to help out our two legends. Chambo, feel free to do what you want. Simon.
Okay, right, evening all. So, we've talked about a busy Portman Road, but what is Ipswich Town's record home attendance at Portman Road before it became an all-seater stadium?
Oh, okay. So what is Ipswich Town's record home attendance at Portman Road before it became an all-seater stadium?
Big number, I reckon. Follow the thunder, they said.
Yeah.
Is it me to go first?
It is you this week, yes.
32,345.
32,345, okay. Terry, you going to go higher or lower?
This is like a dance act over here.
I mean, ignoring you, Chamber. I completely ignoring you.
There's a little bit of help from all the crowd
Isn't
here on
there?
this.
Yeah.
Play your
They're
own
rooting
game,
for you,
son. Play your
Butch.
own game.
I reckon you got to go like 33,000.
Is this actual... You're not winding me up here, right? Because I know you're as tall as me, but I'll sort you out.
I think it was against Leeds United.
What was it? That doesn't mean anything to me. Well, I'll go higher then.
Okay. Do you want to just randomly put a figure on it? Or?
No?
One higher than Russell.
Yeah, one higher than Russell.
One higher. So the answer is...
The answer is 38,010, which was in a 6th round FA Cup match against, quite right, Cliff, Leeds United in 1975.
Well done.
75.
There we go. So
Point
well
for Terry
done.
Butcher.
Well done, Terry.
How did they... I mean, in all interest, how did they actually cram that many people in?
No idea.
Well, it was standing like this, wasn't
Yeah.
it? You had to get in so early
So they
to
stood
get
up.
your place. And
I was just counting the home support, obviously.
Yes.
I reckon half a point each then.
No, sorry, Chambo. Yeah, no.
it's
Carry on.
it's
Mr.
Russell
Murphy.
5.5, Terry 3.5.
Oh, it's closing.
Coming back.
closer.
It's coming back.
Getting closer.
Well done.
Off to a good start.
Right, we're going to do the Table Football Challenge now, sponsored by Fred Olsen Logistics. And at this point, we are going to wave goodbye to Luke Chambers because he's got to sneak away.
Good.
So, boys, if you want to
part-timers.
take up your positions on the table football, they said to me earlier on, we take on all comers. So we have two members of our capacity crowd, one from the North Stand and one from Churchman's. Would you like to come forward? And would our England internationals like to come forward as well? Okay. So the idea basically is to score as many goals, boys, as you can. Doesn't matter how many you let in, it's how many goals you score against our two England internationals. You have 60 seconds to do it. Apparently, there's no spinning, but occasionally it's been allowed. No, I think...
No spinning.
Okay, no spinning, says Terry. I'm not going to argue with you. 60 seconds. Here we go.
Spinning. Are you ready?
Yes, that was the whistle. Oh, there's a lot of midfield play at the moment. A lot of midfield play. Oh, it's a good shot there from our England internationals. The capacity crowd are desperately trying to get out of defence at the moment and struggling. It's all their end. Come on, crowd, cheer who you want. Come on, crowd. Oh, it's a great shot there from our capacity crowd. It's one from the striker there from the capacity crowd. It's 1-0 to the England legends, Butcher and Osman. 1-0 up at the moment. 2-0 up. They're on fire this week. 2-0 up. Come on, our capacity crowd's a lot resting on this. Oh, it's 2-1. Straight in from the keeper. 2-1. Come on, you got 5 seconds. Get it in there quickly. 5 seconds to equalise. Give them a round of applause. They tried. Two 2-1 to England internationals, Butcher and Osman. Fantastic. Win bonus.
Win
Yeah, of
bonus?
course.
Win bonus. Can we get? Have you ever got a copy of that and just give it to Chambo as well when he comes back? That'd be nice.
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah. He's still in the lead with a dodgy 5. There was a bit of spinning and a bit of
Dodgy.
before the whistle went from him, but never mind. So well done, lads. Well done. Now the Renegade Statman has sent me some stats for this week, and it's all about Liam Delap's double at the weekend. It saw him become the youngest Ipswich player to score a brace in the top flight since Alan Brazil achieved the feat in a 4-0 win against Stoke City at Portman Road in January 1981. Messrs Butcher, Osman and Chambers didn't score 2 goals in a league game for Town, although you did manage it, Terry, in a 6-1 League Cup win against Swindon Town. Do you remember that?
No. But I should have done because I didn't score 2 goals in one game in February, or hardly at all.
Well, to help jog your memory, the other goal scorers in that game were Mark Brennan, Kevin Wilson, and Michael Cole, also with 2. No,
There you
okay.
go.
Moving on then.
Still doesn't ring a bell. That's not like you.
Moving on.
Moving on.
I don't know how you, because quite often I sit here and we talk about a random game, and you both, and Chambers saying you can remember the games. And I can't even remember the first game I went to particularly, or what happened at Sunday. But it's obviously ingrained into you. You know, when we played so and so. Oh yes, such and such happened. It's amazing how you can remember it all.
I scored 2 against Everton for Southampton, actually.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, free kick the first one, left footer past Southgate, and I had a tenner on myself at 33-1 to get the first goal. So I got a second in the second half, and Norman Whiteside got 2.
Right.
Well, that was in the days when you obviously couldn't bet on yourself. I must actually state that quite clearly for the press.
Yeah, didn't do anything illegal.
No. But didn't on the coach Beattie used to tell me that people would bet on things like, you know, if there's a lot of condensation on the window, which bit of condensation would come down the window like a race as to which one came first, and people would bet on which one would come down first.
Yeah, that was the gamblers' table, wasn't it?
Right.
That was,
Probably Gatesy.
Coop and Alan Brazil, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a few of the others, but no, we never did that. We just drank.
No time for gambling.
No.
Right, should we do it on this day in history? Sponsored by Fred Olsen Logistics.
Right, on this week, this day, or on this day this week,
Yes.
we're going back to, I'm going to start on Wednesday, the 1st of October, 1980. So it's only like a day early. Eric Gates notched what would be one of the most important goals of his Town career as Ipswich squeaked through to the UEFA Cup second round despite losing 3-1 to Aris Salonika in a white-hot atmosphere in Greece. And it was a white-hot atmosphere, wasn't it? And the referee was a...
Yep, we got stoned. The bus got stoned after the game. Yeah.
A seemingly unassailable 5-1 lead from the first leg was whittled down to 1 goal with 30 minutes to go, thanks to strikes from... I can't pronounce any of those. Can you?
No, carry on.
Crikey. Before Gates' crisp shot beat another name I can't pronounce there on 73 minutes and booked their place into the second round. Right, Wednesday the 2nd of October 1963, Neil Thompson was born in Beverley, Yorkshire. Thompson, a left-back with a magnificent shot, was signed from Scarborough for £100,000 by John Duncan, and he managed 23 goals in a 6-year spell in Suffolk. Also on Wednesday the 2nd of October, this time 1991, David Lowe scored twice as Town beat Bristol Rovers 3-1 in the Full Members' Cup. Do you remember that competition? Rubbish, wasn't it? Defender Phil Whelan made his Blues debut that time as well. And just a quick one, on the 3rd of October 1973, in front of 80,000 at the Bernabeu Stadium, Town drew 0-0 with Real Madrid and ensured a safe passage into the UEFA Cup second round. Ipswich's constant attacking shook the Spaniards, and the first leg goal proved enough to put them through to the next round. Wow. There we go.
Amazing. That
Amazing. I mean, what a fantastic European history we have had through so many generations. It'd be nice to see that back again. It was I shouldn't really say this, but I'm going to. It was Look East's 60th birthday last week. Did any of you see the celebrations for Look East's? Right, okay, it's popular as ever. They went through the week doing different things, and then I think it was on the Friday they did sporting highlights, and they showed Norwich getting. Keep up. They showed Norwich getting promoted, and they were on the town hall steps in Norwich, or City's steps in Norwich, and then they showed Norwich's European. They showed Norwich's
Say it quick and get on with it. Come on.
I'm trying to fill some time.
It sounds like you got Tourette's or something. Come on.
They then showed City's European adventure, which was the Bayern Munich game, wasn't it? I think, and Jeremy Goss getting a goal. And I thought, for goodness sake, I mean, how scraping the barrel can you get? How rubbish was that to kind of show it? But we did see the FA Cup, and there was mention of the Bobby Robson era and stuff like that. But they got 2 mentions, didn't they? And we only got the one.
Also on this day, on the 3rd of October, we beat Skeid Oslo 7-0.
Excellent.
There's another one.
Another European adventure. Fantastic. And of course, Norwich just. Anyway, sorry, Look East, you are fantastic.
Norwich will never get into Europe again.
Right, time for this week's Man v Fat results. Another cracking week for the Man v Fat team. 18 kilograms lost as a group, bringing it now to 97.4 kilograms for the season so far. Our top loser of the week was Jose Simoes, whilst James Baldwin followed on from his 4 goals against the Norwich 11s last week with a 5% weight loss. So he's on a roll at the moment. A shout out to Darren Porter and Gay Nightingale, who won this week's Gladiator Challenge, which consists of each team choosing 2 players to go head-to-head against the other teams for weight loss. This week's results: the Wickham Waddlers 12, Ivory Toast 12, the Red Hot Chubby Fellas 5, Borussia München Flapjack 6, Galatasaray 10, the Red Cat Funts 12. Got away with that. Brilliant.
Mark, who got the loss? Was it
the loss?
Who was it? Who was on a roll?
On a roll.
Jose, somebody was it?
Yes.
Yeah, was it a Swiss roll or a sausage roll? I can't remember. You're all dying to say that, aren't you? You're all thinking it, for goodness sake.
With a joke like that, Terry, it was an Arctic roll, probably.
Was it freezing? It's a cold joke, anyway.
Anyway. Moving on. Score predictions for West Ham.
2-1 to Ipswich.
Okay. All right. A lot of crowd agreeing with that. Terry?
1-0 Ipswich.
Okay. I'll go for 3-1 Ipswich.
Yeah.
In the style of the beat.
That's right.
But it promises to be a great game, doesn't it? And it's going to be fantastic. What was really nice this week as well is how much time we got on Match of the Day too. Did you watch that? Really, a lot of time and pretty complimentary about us as well, which I thought was quite good.
A lot of people have, haven't they?
Yeah. Very good.
Which is really good. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll get 3 points. We're done for this week. Next week, we have the chairman and chief executive of Ipswich Town, Mark Ashton, as our special guest next week. So I suspect there'll be quite a few people going on to our capacity crowd section on the website to try and get into the capacity crowd for next week. Livesapitch.tv if you want to go on there. Thank you, boys, very much. Luke as well. Thank you to our capacity crowd. Give yourself a big round of applause. Don't forget, if you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Smash those buttons. It helps the channel to grow, really does. If you're listening on Suffolk Sound, you've made the right choice. And if you're listening on podcast, you've made the right choice as well. Good luck to Town at the weekend. And from all of us on Life's a Pitch TV, one thing to say: Blue Army! 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 This has been a Life's a Pitch TV production. Main sponsor, DPS Tech. Also supported by Lakens, All About Hearing, Forward Floors, Ginger Pickle, Fred Olsen Logistics, The Dove, Seckford Golf Club, Ashford Wright, John Keeble Cars, Venue 16, The Hudson Group, Come Hither Design, Sound 4 Pro Audio, and Suffolk Sound. Our charities this year: Cancer Support Suffolk and the Ipswich Town Community Foundation.